The movie is about Ray Monroe, who is on a rough path of recovery from addiction. Ray and his second wife, Joanne, along with their 6-year-old daughter, Perry, are driving home. During the ride, they argue about something, which seems to have become frequent these days. After a while, they stop near a construction site on the highway. While Perry goes inside to use the restroom, Ray visits the mart to buy some things for himself. Soon after returning, Perry tells her parents that she has lost her small compact mirror. Joanne goes back to check in the restroom while Ray searches the back seat. He puts Perry out of the vehicle. As he takes his coffee with him to the back seat, it spills during the search. Worried the spill will leave a stain, Ray asks Perry to wait while he cleans the seat. Focused on scrubbing the mess, he fails to notice Perry spot a balloon stuck on a metal rod at the nearby construction site. She wanders off to grab it. Following the balloon, Perry reaches the edge of a deep foundation pit. A dog walks toward her, and she calls out for Ray to help. Ray tells her to stand still while he throws a stone to shoo the dog away. But before he can stop her, Perry takes a step back and falls. Ray immediately jumps after her, trying to catch her, and they both fall into the pit. Ray hits his head hard and loses consciousness. Hearing the commotion, Joanne rushes down into the pit and wakes Ray, who seems to be in a trance. Together they both check up on Perry, who is conscious but seems to have broken an arm. Ray gently places her in the car and rushes them to the hospital to get her checked. The hospital is packed with waiting patients. While they wait, Joanne and Ray share a quiet, peaceful conversation, finally relaxing after a chaotic morning. Hours later, their name is called for paperwork. At the desk, the admissions woman begins asking deeply personal questions. She pushes them to register Perry for organ donation, but they firmly refuse. She then asks about their home life and Ray's job, details that have nothing to do with Perry's injury. The strange questions make Ray uncomfortable. The woman steps out of the room to confirm his payment method. Through the glass, Ray spots her whispering to the same cashier he saw earlier at the mart. A wave of suspicion hits him, but he brushes the thought aside. A nurse leads them to the shift doctor, Dr. Bertherm. He examines Perry's arm and confirms it is fractured. To make sure there are no head injuries, he orders a scan. A male nurse takes Joanne and Perry into the scanning room, leaving Ray to wait outside. Sitting in the waiting area, Ray dozes off. A scream from Perry jolts him awake. Touching his face, he realizes he now has a bandage wrapped around his head. Confused, he rushes to the reception desk to ask about his family, but a different receptionist sits there. When he asks for Perry, the woman says there is no record of her in the system. Shocked, he demands she check again, but the screen is empty. He asks for Dr. Bertherm and the previous nurses, but the receptionist tells him their shift has ended. Panic sets in as he realizes his family is missing. Desperate, Ray shoves past the desk and tries to reach the scan room. The new shift doctor, Dr. Lucado, intervenes to stop him. He claims he has never met anyone named Ray Monroe. The hospital staff brings out the same female nurse from earlier. However, she swears she has never met Perry or Joanne. She claims Ray came in alone to get treated for a head injury. As the arguments get louder, pushed over the edge, Ray attacks the staff. Security guards swarm him, pinning him down and injecting him with a sedative. They drag him into a room and lock him inside. Fighting to stay awake, Ray searches the room and finds an auto-injector. He injects himself to stay conscious, breaks the door window, and manages to unlock it from the outside. He sprints toward the basement hoping to find his family, but the guards spot him again. They chase him out of the hospital and into the parking lot. Ray dives into a parked car and holds his breath. After searching the lot, the guards finally give up and walk back inside. Trapped outside, Ray spots a passing police car and throws himself in front of it to make them stop. He shows them his family photo and begs the officers for help. He pleads with them to follow him back inside to find his wife and daughter. Marching inside, the police approach the reception desk and ask if the hospital is holding Ray's family against their will. The staff firmly deny it. accusing Ray of being violent and crazy. A security guard steps forward, claiming Ray attacked the doctors, which is why they had to sedate him. They all insist Ray came in completely alone. Turning back to Ray, the officers ask where he last saw his wife and daughter. Ray tells them the nurses took Perry and Joanne to the lower basement for a scan. However, Dr. Lucado shakes his head and tells the police the scanning room is actually on the 3rd floor. Ray argues fiercely, swearing he saw his family go down. To settle the argument, Dr. Lucado leads Ray and the police upstairs to check the patient logs. The computer shows only one scan for the entire morning, and Perry's name is nowhere on the list. Not ready to give up, the officers demand to speak with Dr. Bertherm. When the older doctor arrives, he calmly states that he treated Ray for a head injury, but never saw a little girl with a broken arm. Making things worse, he adds that Ray spent the whole time talking about his dead first wife, Abby, never mentioning Joanne or Perry. Furious, Ray screams that Dr. Bertherm is lying. Trying to calm the situation, the security guard suggests checking the CCTV cameras. The security footage shows Ray walking through the front doors, talking to the receptionist, and sitting alone in the waiting area. Ray confidently points at the screen, claiming his family is standing just outside the camera's blind spot. He begs them to check the other angles, but the guard explains those cameras are broken. Staring at the empty screen, Ray's heart sinks as all his proof disappears. As the argument heats up, Dr. Jacobs, a hospital psychiatrist, steps in. She pulls Ray into her private office and begins digging into his past. When she discovers he is a recovering addict, she suggests his past drinking has severely damaged his mind. She explains Ray might be suffering from hallucinations, meaning his traumatized brain made up the story of his family coming to the hospital. To prove her theory, Dr. Jacobs convinces the police to take Ray back to the construction site. Searching the concrete pit, the officers find a massive pool of blood. Ray frantically insists the blood is just from his own head injury. However, looking at the sheer amount of blood, the officers and Dr. Jacobs realize a possibility that Ray murdered his own family and is lying to cover his tracks. Convinced he is a killer, one of the officers steps forward to arrest him. In a flash of desperation, Ray snatches the officer's gun and points it directly at Dr. Jacobs. Holding the group at gunpoint, he forces them into a nearby room and locks them inside. Stealing a car, he speeds back to the hospital and sneaks inside. While riding the elevator down, a security guard recognizes him and attacks. During a brutal struggle, Ray fights the guard to death just as the doors slide open to the lower basement. The basement is dark and eerily quiet. Ray creeps into a room and freezes. 2 bodies lie on operating tables covered by white sheets. Terrified of what he might find, he slowly pulls the fabric back. The bodies underneath are completely cut open with all their organs removed. Sickened by the sight, he steps back out into the hallway, only to spot the familiar nurse carrying a sealed organ cooler into a surgical room at the end of the hall. Following the nurse inside, Ray bursts into the operating room and finds Perry unconscious on a surgical bed. Dr. Lucado and the nurse stand over her, ready to remove her organs. Looking around in horror, Ray spots Joanne slumped in a wheelchair in the corner. Desperate to save them, he points his stolen gun at the doctors. During the panic, the gun goes off, and the bullet hits a medical gas pipe, sparking fire in the room. As the flames spread, the doctors and nurses scramble for safety. Taking advantage of the chaos, Ray grabs Perry from the bed and places her in Joanne's lap. Determined to get them out, he pushes the wheelchair toward the exit. A male nurse rushes forward, begging Ray to put the gun down and talk. Without a second thought, Ray shoots the nurse in the leg and wheels his family out into the parking lot. After loading them into the backseat of a car, Ray drives away, smiling and promising Joanne he will never let anything hurt them again. However, as he drives, a flashback reveals the truth that Perry actually died from her fall at the construction pit. When Joanne rushed down to help and screamed at him, Ray violently shoved her away. Joanne fell backward, hitting her head on an exposed metal rod, dying instantly. The massive pool of blood the police found actually belonged to his wife. Unable to handle the trauma, Ray's mind completely snapped. He hid their dead bodies in the trunk of his car and drove to the hospital alone to treat his own head wound. In the final shot, the back seat of Ray's moving car is shown. He did not rescue his wife and daughter. Instead, he has kidnapped a drugged patient who is in the middle of a real surgery and is driving off with it. If you enjoyed this recap, hit that like button and subscribe for more crazy stories. See you in the next one.